शिव हरे शिव राम सखे प्रभु त्रिविधताप निवारण हे विभो अज जनेश्वर यादव पाहि मां शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् कमललोचन राम दयानिधे हर गुरो गजरक्षक गोपते शिवतनो भव शंकर पाहि मां शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् सुजनरञ्जन मङ्गलमन्दिरम् भजति ते पुरुषः परमं पदम् भवति तस्य सुखं परमद्भुतम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् जय युधिष्ठिरवल्लभ भूपते जय जयार्जित पुण्य पयोनिधे जय कृपामय कृष्ण नमोस्तुते शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् भव विमोचन माधव मापते सुख विमान सहंस शिवारते जनक जारत राघव रक्ष मां शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् अवनिमण्डल मङ्गलमापते जलद सुंदर राम रमापते निगम कीर्ति गुणार्णव गोपते शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् पतित पावन नाममयी लता तव यशो विमलं परिगीयते तदपि माधव मां किमुपेक्षसे शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् अमरता परदेव रमापते विजयतस्तव नाम धनोपमा मयि कथं करुणार्णव जायते शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् हनुमतः प्रियचापकल् प्रभु सुरसरेद्घृतशेखर हे गुरु मम विभो किमु स्मरणं कृतं शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् ॐ नमः शिवाय। 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 ॐ ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 शङ्करं त्र्यम्बकं मुण्डमालं शिवम् आशुतोषं भवं नीलकण्ठं हरे शशिधरं शूलिनं शैलजावल्लभम् पार्वतीनायकं भालचन्द्रं भजे पार्वतीनायकं भालचन्द्रं भजे कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारम् संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारम् सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि नमस्ते सतेते जगत्कारणाय नमस्ते चिते सर्वलोकश्रयाय नमो अद्वैत्यतत्त्वाय मुक्तिप्रदाय नमो ब्रह्मणे व्यापिने शाश्वताय अजं शाश्वतं कारणं कारणानां शिवं केवलं भासकं भासकानां तुरीयं तमः पारमाद्यन्तहीनं प्रपद्ये परं पावनं द्वैतहीनम् वन्दे देव उमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणम् वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगधरम् वन्दे पशूनां पतिम् वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवहिनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनाश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम् नागेन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्माङ्गरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्ध्याय दिगम्बराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय मंदाकिनी सलिलचंदन चर्चिताय नंदीश्वर प्रमथनाथ महेश्वराय मंदार पुष्प बहुपुष्प सुपूजिताय तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय शिवाय गौरी वदनाब्जवृन्द सूर्याय दक्षाध्वरनाशकाय श्रीनीलकण्ठाय वृषध्वजाय तस्मै शिकाराय नमः शिवाय वसिष्ठकुम्भोदभगौतमार्य मुनीन्द्रदेवार्चितशेखराय चन्द्रार्कवैश्वनरलोचनाय तस्मै वकाराय नमः शिवाय यक्षस्वरूपाय जटाधराय पिनाकहस्ताय सनातनाय दिव्याय देवाय दिगम्बराय तस्मै यकाराय नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाले नमो नमः। वेद वेदांत वेदांग विद्या स्थानेभ्यं एव च। सरस्वती महाभागे विद्ये कमललोचने विद्यारूपे विशालाक्षि विद्यां देहि नमोऽस्तुते। या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शंकर प्रभृतिभिर्देवै सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा। वीणाधरे विपुल मंगल दानशीले भक्तार्तिनाशिनी विरंचि हरीश वंदे। कीर्ति प्रदे अखिल मनोरथ दे महारे विद्या प्रदायिनी सरस्वती नमामि नित्यम्। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। 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 ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपित्तजम्बूफलसारभक्षणम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजम्। ॐ सुमुखचैकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लम्बोदरश्च विकटो विघ्ननाशो विनायकः धूम्रकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षो भालचन्द्रो गजाननः द्वादशैतानि नामानि यः पठे शृणुयादपि। ॐ विद्यारम्भे विवाहे च प्रवेशे निर्गमे तथा संग्रामे संकटे चैव विघ्नस्तस्यै न जायते। ॐ गणनां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे प्रियणां त्वा प्रियपतिं हवामहे निधिनां त्वा निधिपतिं हवामहे वसो मम अहं जानि गर्वधं मा त्वं जासि गर्वधम्। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ विघ्नेश्वरायभ्यो नमो नमः। ॐ लम्बोदरायभ्यो नमो नमः। शुक्लाम्बरधरं देवं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। नमस्ते ब्रह्मरूपाय विष्णुरूपाय ते नमः। नमस्ते रुद्ररूपाय करिरूपाय ते नमः। लम्बोदर नमस्तुभ्यं सततं मोदका प्रिये निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। रक्ष रक्ष गणाध्यक्ष रक्ष त्रैलोक्य रक्षक भक्तानां भयं कर्ता त्राता भव भवार्णवात्। द्वे मातुर्कृपा सिन्धो शानमातुर्ग्रज प्रभो वरदस्त्वं वरं देहि वाञ्छितं वाञ्छितार्थदा। गणेशाय नमः। लक्ष्मी करोतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुख संप्रदा मम शत्रु विनाशाय दीप ज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते।
स्मरामि हृदि संस्फुरदात्मतत्त्वम् सच्चित्सुखं परमहंस गतिं तुरीयम् यत्स्वप्नजागरत् सुषुप्तिमवैति नित्यम् तद्ब्रह्मनिष्कलमहं न च भूतसङ्घः। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओं। Namaskar. Assalamu alaikum, Sitaram, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, my dear brothers and sisters. This is your friend and brother Acharya Arun Gossai coming to you live once again from New York City on another segment of Avenues to Peace. A special thank you to my brother Roshanji and his entire team at Abitunes Radio for making today's program possible. Live on abitunes.com, live on Bhuvaneshwar Mandir Facebook Live, and of course, Abitunes Radio Facebook Live. My dear brothers and sisters, we are continuing our look today at the Bhajagovindam text by Adi Shankaracharya ji. Bhajagovindam is a practical text known as the Moha Mudgara, the hammer that breaks away all the delusion, our erroneous notions, our wrong notions as to what is the goal of life versus what is not the goal. Now in this text, it's called the Prakarana Grantha, an introductory text to Vedanta, the philosophy of knowing your true self, the philosophy of realizing once and for all that the various objects, people, places, and situations of the world will only yield disappointment. Therefore, do not waste any time. Go deep within yourself and realize the true happiness within. Do not allow your happiness to depend on anything or anyone, because you will be disappointed. Think about it. Your entire life has passed. Many people have come, many people have gone. What happens in the coming of people in our lives? We become happy, we're elated, we're peaceful. And then as soon as there is some departure from life, what happens? We are in a realm of sorrow, disappointment, and unease. In our lives, my dear brothers and sisters, we have to think about everything in perspective. Ask yourself the question, when people, places, and objects enter your life, does it throw you off balance in the realm of elation? When they depart, does it bring you down into sorrow? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. And in Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja means to seek, Govindam means the Lord. Adi Shankaracharya ji, who is one of the greatest philosophers of all time, he is none other than Bhagavan Shankara himself, coming to this world, my dear brothers and sisters, and teaching others how to renounce this ego. What is the ego? The ego is the I thought. I am related to so-and-so. I know so-and-so. I can do so-and-so. I can perform so-and-so way. All of these, my dear brothers and sisters, are all attached to that I thought. And when this I or this ego begins to grow and dominate our lives, we become what is called abhimani. Abhiman means we start to adopt a false sense of overinflated worth based on our external surroundings. For example, if someone is very, very talented, they can very well develop an abhiman about that and say that they're the best in this field and start to forget the people, the places, and situations that would have got them there. This is just one byproduct of abhiman, but it all starts with that I. And dissolution, my dear brothers and sisters, of that ego, the I thought that gets too happy or too sad, that is what happens when one bhaj kare, when one bhaja seeks something higher, knows themselves not to be the limited I, but knows himself to be, my dear brothers and sisters, the totality itself. One remains humble, one remains simple, one never forgets where they came from, one never forgets the ones who have invested in them, one does the right thing, one becomes a thinker of all beings in this world and not only their selfish own self. Those are all byproducts of the ego. But if one lives in a space of totality, one begins to think of others, one begins to be considerate of others, and one never, ever gets deluded in this world, strayed away by people, places, and things into realms of physical existence. But they're back into the mind, into their soul, into Paramatma, where they realize that true self. Deep within the body, deep within the mind, deep within even their soul, my dear brothers and sisters, is that joy that they're looking for, is that satisfaction that they're looking for. And Adi Shankaracharya Ji in Bhaja Govindam gives us 31 steps, my dear friends, of how to achieve this. Now we left off with this verse here, we should review it, verse number 4, and it said, Naristana dhana, naristana bhara, nabhitesham, Drishtva maga mohavesham etanva mansa vasadi vikaram manasi vichityam bharam bharam bhaja govindam govindam bhaja muramate bhaja govindam govindam bhaja muramate. Oh fool! Oh, deluded person in this world who is so steeped in their individuality that they can't even see the hand in front of their face anymore. The person who cannot see right from wrong, who cannot discriminate between who's real versus what's not real, who cannot discriminate between which situation is good for them, which situation is not good for them. Such a person is called Mura, according to Adi Shankara. Bhaja Govindam, always seek the company of the wise. Bhaja Govindam, always seek the company of satsang, the good. Bhaja Govindam, seek the company of being one with the Lord. How do we do that? This verse number 3 says, Nari stana bhara nabhi desham drishtva maga mohavesham. That sometimes when you look at the opposite gender, based on your biology, what happens is you get into a stupor. You forget everything. Nothing else matters. Your parents who raised you, forget them. The things that were right in your life, you forget all of that when you see the opposite gender. You can see a person that you've never met in your whole life. You become infatuated with them. They become the object of your desire. What happens is you begin to forget yourself in maddening delusion. Drishtva maga mohavesham. This maddening delusion happens by mere sight of the person that we're infatuated with. Adi Shankaracharya says, therefore realize etan mansa visadi vikaram manasi vichintyam bharam bharam. What you're falling in love with, and the key word is falling, you're falling in love with a modification of fat. You know, when you fall in love with the form of the opposite gender, you're falling in love with the modification of fat. That's all it is. As I always say, if you go into the morgue and you open a cadaver, those medical students would know this, you'll see that in behind that beautiful skin and covering of the skin and how nicely this flesh and bone is wrapped up, you can never tell what's underneath. All you see is guts, nerves, blood, and bones. But you fall in love with the way someone looks. My dear brothers and sisters, Adi Shankaracharya is saying, do not get infatuated with the way the opposite gender looks, because not only will you forget the ones who truly love you, but you'll begin to forget yourself. You'll begin to forget that true joy is within you. You'll begin to forget the fact that no person, object, place, situation can give you the permanent joy that you're looking for. And they'll only actually, if you overindulge in the opposite gender, overindulge in the world, time will be wasted. And one fine day, that person will disappoint you. The person who says, I love you today, hates you tomorrow. The person who hates you today may very well love you tomorrow. This is the world that we live in. But you have to ask yourself the question, do you have time to waste in this coming and going of physical attraction? Now, I'm not saying not to be attracted to anyone. It's impossible. But what I'm saying is, listen to Adi Shankaracharya ji. Realize, using Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha, realize what is the reality versus what is not. The not reality or the false aspect or the Maya is that this body is young right now and it will change. It will get older with time. And then if you're attracted to only the body, what will happen when the body ages? Then ask yourself the question, if all of this is changing, what is the unchanging aspect in all of this? It is the higher self that is in you and I. Therefore, rise in love. I always say, rise in love with that inner bliss, and do not fall in love with the objects of this world. Do not become over-infatuated. Do not think that that is all there is to life and overindulge. Why? Because you will hit a dead-end road sooner than later. You will be disappointed. Now, Adi Shankaracharya, none other than Bhagavan Shankar, is saying, do not fall for this gift-wrapped body in skin. It is just a modification of fat, blood, bones, nerves. Manasi vichintyam baram baram. Think about this again and again until you understand it. You see, Adi Shankaracharya is dropping 4-line hints to all of us in this. Each verse has 4 lines. It's chaupai, basically. And in our lives, my dear brothers and sisters, when we realize for a fact that we can very well waste our whole life behind shiny objects and overindulge and get hurt, smashed in the process, ask yourself the question, did God put you here to experience pain? Now again, I'm not saying not to go and be attracted to the opposite gender, but here's the thing. You must, manasi vichintyam baram baram. Think about it again and again. When you allow the opposite gender to delude you, first of all, take you away from the people that they have loved you and cared for you your entire life, forgetting where you've come from. Here's what happens when someone sees the opposite gender, they get so deluded, they begin to forget their own parents even. They begin to forget the people who have invested in them, just for the sake of someone they don't even know that's very attractive. So Adi Shankaracharya is saying, be careful. Do not be deluded. And most importantly, do not invest your happiness in another person. Because that beautiful form will change, and there goes your happiness also. Find your happiness within yourself, and the one who has found that happiness within doesn't need anything to be happy. Whether they have or not, they are at bliss. Bhaja Govindam. Seek the Lord. Okay, that's verse number 3. Verse number 4 says, Nalani dalagat jalamati taralam Tattva jivitam atishaya chapalam Vidhi vyadhi bhimana grastam Lokam shokahatam cha samastam Bhaj Govindam Govindam bhaj mudamate. Seek the Lord. Do not waste time, says Bhagavan Shankar. Adi Shankaracharya ji, none other than Bhagavan Shankar himself, in a beautiful young manifestation. Nalani dala gata jalamati taralam. Nalani dala gata jalam means the water that is playing on the end of the lotus leaf. Now imagine my hand to be this lotus flower leaf petal, right? Imagine the kamal gata or the lotus flower, and my hand is that leaf, that petal. Imagine at the end of my hand there is this water droplet. You know, and after rain falls, you see on the ends of these petals there's that droplet of water that's always hanging on the edge. Adi Shankaracharya ji says, Tatvat jivita mati shaya chapalam. Tatvat means so, jivitam, life, atishaya, ever greatly, chapalam, unstable. Just like this water droplet is very unstable at the end of this petal, so too is your jivitam, is your life. Our lives, my dear brothers and sisters, are like that water droplet that's on that petal. We do not know when that droplet would fall. That is why Adi Shankaracharya is saying, do not waste time. You can be 10 years old, you can be 20 years old, you can be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And we don't know when that last moment will come. Jab prana tan se nikle. We don't know when that prana, when that life will leave our body. That is why Adi Shankaracharya is saying, Nalani dalagatat jalamati taralam tadva jivita mati shaya chapalam. That like the water on the edge of that petal, so too is our life hanging by a thread, hanging just like that water droplet on the petal. We never know when it will fall. Vidhi vyadhi abhimana grastam. So, as you exist in this world, know what this world is really, because our time is very short. Know that the world is, the word vidhi means, understand, vyadhi abhimana grastam. Vyadhi means disease, abhiman means false pride, and grastam, conceit. Know that this entire world is full of disease, mentally and physically. Know it's full of abhiman, over praising oneself based on their surroundings, and conceit, by their brothers and sisters. So if you can understand this fact that all of us are truly just hanging by a thread in this world, by their brothers and sisters, lokam shokam hatam cha samastam, that also this world is riddled, by their brothers and sisters, with shokam. Shokam, disease. What kind of disease? Pangs, sadness. Samastam, the whole world is riddled with this disease of the mind called abhiman, disease of the body. You see, with abhiman, when you overinflate your self-worth based on your talents, based on, knowing a little bit maybe, and you think you know everything, right? The moment someone says they know something, right, or professes that they know, that means that they really don't know anything. Because the more spiritual you are, and here's the beauty of spirituality, here's the beauty of spiritual study. The more spiritual you are and more knowledge you have, the more humble you be. You realize that these gifts that have been given by a higher power, and I will constantly adore the one who has given me this life, Mom and Dad, and also I'll constantly adore the one who has given this existence to me, which is Bhagavan. But when you now, in the short life, you live your life in abhiman, over praising one's own self, you live your life in dis-ease in the mind. Dis-ease means when my mind is constantly overtaken by the world and I want this, I want that, I want whatever, and I'm full of expectations at that point. My desires are not fulfilled. I become sad and deflated and despondent. What happens is you can very well, as a result of this dis-ease in the mind, you can very well be diseased in the body. So Adi Shankaracharya is saying, do not fall prey to what the entire world is falling to, right? He said in the verse, what did he say just now? He says, Lokam shokam hatam cha samastam. Hatam, riddle, shokam, sadness. The whole world is sad because they're going after objects that are not real. They're going after people that are not really for them. They're going after the people who use them. They're going after the people who don't truly care about them. And they're looking for happiness in that realm. And once you exist in that realm, and you know, my dear brothers and sisters, who's really for you. Someone who takes their time, my dear brothers and sisters, to show you the right way is a true friend. Right? So in our lives, we have to truly analyze the fact. Are we setting ourselves up for disaster by associating with the wrong people? Or are we setting ourselves up to realize the goal of this human life in this very short life that is like a water droplet at the edge of a petal? It can fall at any time. Therefore, Adi Shankaracharya, my dear brothers and sisters, is warning all of us. Do not fall prey to the maddening delusion of disease mentally and physically, and also abhiman. Of disease mentally and physically, and conceit. Why? Because I bhi akela, jai bhi akela. You have come alone, and you will go alone. And all the things that ever caused you worry, anxiety, all the things that you're ever proud of, will be left right here long after you are gone. So do not fall prey to mental disease. Mental disease, my dear brothers and sisters, is a serious thing. Anxiety, depression. We went over this last time. What is anxiety? When I'm fearful of losing an object. What is depression? When I can't get over the object that I've lost. So if you can focus on that inner bliss within, realizing that all things are like that petal, that water on the flower petal, about to drop at a moment's notice. No one gives you a moment's notice, not even at work when we get fired. They don't give you a moment's notice. They give you a pink slip and that's it. Life is like that. Unannounced, anything can happen at any time. But to prepare for all of these, I would say, comings and goings, and all of the uncertainty, one must root themselves in the higher self. Root themselves in satsang. Continue to learn, so when the tough times come, they can handle it. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja, Mudamate. We'll go on to verse number 5 of Bhaja Govindam on Wednesday. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful Monday. We have Bhuvaneshwar Monday. We have a very busy week. Tonight, we'll be continuing the Bhagavad Gita course, right? Chapter 1 through chapter 18. Word by word explanation, and you will learn how to chant it also. This class is given once a week at the Bhuvaneshwar Mandir, and the class it happens to be today. It's usually on Wednesdays, but because of Navaratri on Wednesday, we have to do our class today, Monday. So Monday, today, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Bhuvaneshwar Mandir. This class will not be on Facebook Live, because the ones who are in New York City should come to the Mandir to get this knowledge, because that is the only way people take this seriously. Number 2, if you're living out of state, please contact me at my Facebook, and I'll give you the Zoom link so that you can join, only if you're out of state. Now, in addition to that, tomorrow we have our regular Hanuman Chalisa Satsang from 5:20 to 8 p.m. And then Wednesday, of course, Pratama Dinam Navaratri, Pratama Ratri. The first night of Chaitra Navaratri begins on Wednesday. So more about Navaratri we will see, and also our Bhaja Govindam will continue on Wednesday, right here at Avichums. See you tonight at Bhuvaneshwar for session number 5 of our Bhagavad Gita course, right at Bhuvaneshwar Mandir, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. God bless all of you. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om.
जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि सकल विघ्न कर दूर हमारे मम वंदन स्वीकार करो चरण शरण हम आए तुम्हारे जय गणेश गणनाथ दयानिधि लाला जय गोपाला जय नंद लाला जय जय श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है गोपाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है नंद लाला हरि का प्यारा नाम है गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है श्री राधे गोविंदा मन भजले हरि का प्यारा नाम है केसर तिलक लगाए, मोर मुकुट सिर दल बनमाला, केसर तिलक लगाए,
केसर तिलक लगाए।
वृंदावन की कुंज गलन में सबको नाच नचाए, ओह सबको नाच नचाए, श्री राधे गोविंद